Hi ladies, welcome to Pathways to Fertility, a YouTube station dedicated to the women who are on the journey to improve their egg quality and improve their well-being to have the baby of their dreams. I am Samantha Jacobs. I'm a licensed acupuncturist and a fertility coach, and I have been helping women for 23 plus years to conceive the baby of their dreams. Today I am going to be going over some research articles that grabbed my attention, and I thought I would share them with you. So the first article, the effects of BRCA1 and 2 mutations on ovarian reserve and aging. This particular article caught my attention because I've had a group of women over the many years who have come to me from a Chinese perspective should be pregnant. And it has led me to wonder if there's not some kind of genetic issue that we are just currently not able to understand. A genetic issue that could be impacting her egg quality. And in this particular article, it has been found that women who carry the BRCA1 gene have lower anti-Mullerian hormone levels. And from a Western perspective, low AMH is an indicator of ovarian reserve. Lower ovarian reserve is an indicator of potential poor egg quality. Western medicine's just on the cusp of starting to understand that there can be other issues going on, genetic issues, things that we may not be able to change to improve egg quality. And I think the better we get at understanding these mutations, the more we can empower a woman to help her make good choices for herself. There's nothing more touching to me to see a woman spend so much time and energy trying to improve their egg quality and not being able to get enough leverage. And I think if women had this understanding that maybe they have a genetic mutation that could be impacting their egg quality, they could make a different set of choices. Next, another topic near and dear to my heart. Thyroid autoimmunity, thyroid stimulating hormone, and fertility, connecting the dots. Thyroid autoimmunity is something I have personally. And once again, over the many years, this is a common autoimmune disorder. And I have women coming to me who have been diagnosed with it, asking me, do I think that that could be a problem with their fertility? Now, from my perspective personally, I have seen how thyroid autoimmunity can impact the quality of my life. So it has the potential to impact fertility. Unfortunately, Western medicine doesn't widely recognize it, nor do they have a tool to treat it. So it often gets brushed to the side. Yet, right, when we're seeing repetitive failures in embryo transfers, or we're seeing frequent early on miscarriages, it all gets lumped into the quality of the genetic material in the embryo. Here in this article, they do note that there is a correlation that they concluded TSH levels alongside TOP levels. So TPO levels are the markers for thyroid autoimmunity. And looking at these two levels with each other, they were able to see women who could be at a potential higher risk for adverse pregnancy outcomes. The article did mention that this is considered a hypothesis right now and does need more research. But for the ladies out there with thyroid autoimmunity, it is definitely a benefit to step in and do as much as you can to address your overall well-being to improve pregnancy outcomes. Next, I have 2 articles on sperm. So this particular research article, abnormal sperm tails correlate with sperm DNA fragmentation. Once again, this article stood out to me. I've had numerous female patients come to me to tell me they're doing IVF because their sperm, the husband's sperm, has abnormal tail formation. It's interesting how Western medicine approaches the problem by picking the best looking sperm. In this particular research article, it was noted that the more abnormal sperm tails, the higher DNA fragmentation increased in the sample. So overall, if the sperm sample has more and more abnormal tails, it could potentially mean that the sample has a lot of DNA fragmentation. And I mention this, I put it out into the universe because women are shouldering the whole responsibility of egg quality. And we're just on the cusp of Western medicine starting to recognize this. There's a fallacy in that all men can make a baby when they're 150 years old. Often men get the loop out of addressing their sperm quality because, quote unquote, we can pick the best looking sperm. Next, we have changing sperm donors, a shortcut to pregnancy or just a myth. This is something I have seen also in my practice, and I want to chuckle because until I saw this research article, this is like the old wives' tale, that changing the sperm donor can lead to a successful pregnancy. And what has happened over the years is that I have had women change their sperm donor and automatically have a successful cycle and become pregnant. It is something when I just had somebody last year who's using a sperm donor who said to me, "Do you think I should change donors?" And I was like, "Yes, but I don't have any evidence to this thought process." Well, this research article did find that switching sperm donors after repetitive unsuccessful IUI attempts significantly reduces the additional number of cycles needed to achieve pregnancy. I think sometimes sperm donors are just not a good match for that particular woman, and yes, changing it up leads to success. Another topic near and dear to my heart: the effects of emotions on IVF, ICSI outcomes in infertile women, a systematic review. Now, this particular article indicates there's no statistically significant correlation between infertility-related stress and IVF outcomes. I have quite a few articles that would say differently. Why I'm pointing this one out is that we are starting to recognize how incredibly stressful IVF is. So we're going to bump to the next article. Silent Battles, Global Insights, Anxiety and Depression in the World of Assisted Reproduction. This particular article mentions that there should be awareness of the psychological health in assisted reproductive technology. This is my experience in my practice. I believe this article is true. I think that there are some women who, because of who they are, how they handle their stress, how they cope, how they plan, they can move through IVF quite seamlessly. And they can manage their stress levels. And so then we wouldn't see a significant correlation between stress and the success of IVF. But this article is more of what I think is going on, is that we need to be more aware of each individual woman, and that anxiety and depression is a commonality with going through IVF, going through trying to conceive with infertility, and that there needs to be more support for those women. And I'm going to say for couples too. I had a couple come to me a couple of weeks ago. The husband wanted to come. They just wanted to consult with me as a fertility coach. And it's really clear to me that men don't even get the support they need. He's really frustrated and upset and angry. So we're not getting enough support to the couples who really need it. And it does impact the quality of your life. It impacts the quality of your health. And I think it does get reflected into the whole process of conceiving. I appreciate you listening, and I will be back for another video. Thank you.